Welcome to Invest Insights. I'm Abby Malone. I'm joined today by Michael Feuerman, the Managing Director for Berger Commercial Realty based in South Florida. He joins us for our discussion on the COVID-19 pandemic. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more insights like these. Michael, since the COVID-19 pandemic started to make its way through both Florida and the United States, what factors have you been tracking as it relates to the commercial real estate market?
Good morning, Abby. Thanks for having me. And I'm glad I could join and share with you and the viewers some insights that we have at Berger Commercial Realty on this rapidly developing market. Since this started, we've been tracking, so let me back up first. My focus is tenant representation. My firm, others in the firm represent landlords and investors as well, and we also manage property. So we manage about 6 or 7 million square feet, and we list for sale or lease about 7.5 million. I'm on the tenant rep side, so I represent business owners who need to find space where their employees will be working, sort of the other side of brokerage from landlord and property owner representation. I personally have been tracking vacancy rates, rental rates to see where my clients should expect to transact, either when they're purchasing or leasing space. My clients do both. The firm is tracking trends such as investment returns, whether banks are going to be taking properties back eventually, and whether there will be receiverships that we need to handle. Some of the trends that we're watching are landlords' willingness to negotiate with tenants and give them rent relief if they need it during the pandemic. That's become quite important, more so in the retail space, but also in industrial and office.
Michael, what does that mean exactly for rent relief in South Florida? What does it mean for the tenants, and what does it mean for the landlords?
So it's a case-by-case basis, Abby. So first, the landlord is constrained if they have a mortgage loan. The lender is going to have final say in most cases over what they can do, what kind of relief they can give, if they can give any relief. So, all owners who have a mortgage have debt service coverage ratio requirements. They can't give rent relief that'll put them below that DSCR requirement, or they're technically in default of their loan. Then a lot of property owners are turning to the lenders and asking for relief themselves. So they're asking for some deferral of their mortgage payments, which gives them a little bit of flexibility for a few months to grant some rent relief to tenants. It's also going to depend on whether the tenant has a true need, or if they're just looking to lower costs, sort of, I don't want to say taking advantage, but seeing an opportunity and jumping on it in this market. So a landlord's going to require that a tenant, in general, from what I'm seeing, is looking to the SBA and PPP loans for their own outside relief, whether they have actually suffered losses and are in need, because some firms are doing quite well in this environment. And once they establish, just like in post-2008 in the Great Recession, that the tenant does have a need, if the landlord has the leeway, then in many cases they will work with their tenants. It's a mixed bag whether they're going to give free rent and then tack on term at the end, or if they're going to give them the right to not pay rent for a short period of time and then spread it over the rest of the term. There are also things that tenants are looking for besides rent relief. They're looking, in some cases, or will be looking, we anticipate, to retrofit their space. So they're going to need tenant improvement dollars to change the way their space lays out to comply with social distancing. Some might be looking to downsize. Some might be looking to increase. So there are all kinds of different ways that tenants and landlords are working it out.
Indeed, and another aspect of South Florida is its international component for the amount of tenants and investors and companies that are based here. Because we've seen numerous travel restrictions and people are deterred from traveling at this moment in time, how has that impacted commercial real estate?
So my focus is not on investment, but from what I'm seeing and hearing, a lot of buyers who are out of the country or even out of state who would come here and regularly look to particularly the Miami market for their investments aren't able to come. They can't come and see, touch, feel the property. They can't meet with tenants. They can't inspect. They can't basically, get their hands on something that they normally would. That goes with land, that goes with existing buildings, and that makes it very difficult for them to come here and assess a property and make an investment. You also have the question of the tenants in these properties. Again, particularly in Miami with a lot of Latin American headquarters around Blue Lagoon, Coral Gables, even downtown Miami. Those tenants typically like to be in Miami because they have access to Miami International Airport and can get to almost any country in South America faster than they can from any other airport. If they can't travel, these offices are not as much of use to them, and perhaps we might see some of these tenants closing up, which will hurt underlying values as well.
And you're starting to project a little bit into the future, and I want to ask you about that. Social distancing will remain for some time, if not indefinitely, and people are rethinking the way that they are utilizing office space. Maybe they need less office space, maybe there's more remote working, and maybe these international companies will be prohibited from coming here for various reasons. While no one has a crystal ball, what do you think, how do you think that the COVID-19 pandemic will start to shape commercial real estate in the post-COVID-19 world?
That's a great question, Abby. I think you're going to see a lot of different effects. And like you said, nobody knows. It's really early to tell what's going to happen in this crisis. But our best guess from what I'm reading and what I'm seeing and hearing is that you have competing forces as far as the size of space people are going to need. And I'm focusing mainly on office for the first part of this answer. So you have the implication that if this continues for a long time, people are going to need more space within their office for social distancing. So the square footage per person, which has been shrinking over, I've been in the business 21 years, it's been shrinking down from 250 per person when I started, 250 square feet, probably down to, in some cases, 160, 170 square feet per person or less. That could be going back up to 250 to give room. You're not going to see benching with firms that have 2x4 desks with people making phone calls right next to each other anymore. Workstations are going to have to be probably 6x6 at least, and configured so that you're not sort of face to face with somebody, maybe with a high back on the workstation. But then you might see companies that need less space because people are getting used to working from home and they don't have a commute. And once all the kids go back to school, it'll be even easier, and employers are seeing that it can be effective. So that will be a competing force to the expansion and require the tenants need less space. In industrial, there will probably be a need for more space as more purchasing goes online and you need fulfillment. As far as the common areas of buildings, I think you're going to see a big change. You're going to see that there's going to be retrofitting of restrooms. So no touch faucets, no touch toilets, maybe even motion sensors for doors to open. You're going to see hand sanitizer everywhere, like on cruise ships. And you're going to have control over how many people can get in an elevator at one time. There's going to be a lot of changes to help keep people healthy. But this is going to be a boon for some businesses, the plumbing supply companies and air quality and HVAC companies. You're going to have to see higher filtration in the HVAC systems. And there's going to be a lot of changes. It's going to be different. Whether that lasts a year or 6 months or 2 years or goes on indefinitely, we don't know yet.
Exactly. More to be revealed. And Michael, should people want to find out more information about Berger Commercial Realty, where would you direct them?
They can go to bergercommercial.com, BERGER commercial.com. I also have a blog site, South Florida Commercial Real Estate, so it's sflacre.com.
Wonderful. Well, thank you again. That was Michael Feuerman, the Managing Director for Berger Commercial Realty. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel to watch more insights like this. My name is Abby Maloney, and you've been watching Invest Insights. Thank you.